All right, everybody, welcome back. Today, we're going to dive deep into something that could really shake things up for Solana.
Oh, yeah.
You ready for this?
Absolutely.
A Solana ETF.
It's big.
It could be huge GE, like mainstream huge E.
Yeah, definitely huge E.
We're talking about the possibility of a US-based Solana ETF. I mean, this could be the thing that finally brings Solana to,
The big leagues.
to the masses. Exactly. So for anyone who's like, wait, ETF, what's that? An ETF is an exchange-traded fund. It's basically like
A basket of assets.
yeah, a basket.
Hmm?
And you can buy and sell it on the stock market, just like, Apple stock or whatever.
Right. Super simple for regular investors.
Yeah, exactly. And in this case, the basket would be full of
Solana.
So you get exposure to Solana without having to mess around with,
Wallets and all that.
the crypto stuff that can be a little, intimidating for some folks.
Definitely a barrier for entry for a lot of people.
So what makes this ETF news so exciting, so potentially huge EE, is WHO filed the application. It wasn't just some,
Some random company.
right. It was Bitwise Asset Management.
Yeah. Big players. Managing billions of dollars.
Billions, which automatically lends a ton of legitimacy to Solana. It's like, okay, if Bitwise is interested.
Yeah, people take notice.
Exactly. And the market definitely reacted. Solana's price jumped almost 1.5%,
Yeah.
right after the announcement.
Not bad for a day's work.
Yeah, not bad at all. But it goes even deeper than just Bitwise.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like,
A chain reaction started.
yeah, exactly. Other big names like VanEck, 21 Shares, they're all looking at Solana ETFs now too.
Like sharks circling. They smell opportunity.
So imagine if this really takes off. Institutional investors,
The big money.
hedge funds, big banks, they've kind of stayed away from crypto because of all the regulations and uncertainty, right?
Right.
But an ETF, that's something they
That's
understand.
familiar. It's regulated.
So suddenly, it's like, boom, the floodgates open and all this institutional money comes pouring into Solana.
Tidal wave of cash.
I like that, tidal wave of cash. But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Right. Got to pump the brakes a little.
Because our good friends at the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, they haven't been the biggest fans of crypto ETFs, have they?
They've been pretty tough, yeah.
They've rejected, a bunch of Bitcoin ETF proposals already.
They're worried about market manipulation, basically.
So for an ETF to work right, the market for that asset, in this case Solana, has to be,
Mature, transparent.
yeah, like no funny business going on, pump and dumps, that kind of stuff.
Exactly. They got to protect investors, right?
So it's not a done deal, this ETF thing.
Nope, not at all.
But now things get even more interesting. The article we're looking at brings up another big factor,
Hit me.
Donald Trump.
Ah, the wild card.
He might be president again in 2025.
Yeah.
And that could change everything.
It could, yeah.
Different administrations have totally different views on how to, regulate things. And the Trump administration was known for being pretty hands-off when it came to, innovation and new tech, right?
More pro-business, pro-growth.
Right. So a lot of people think that a Trump win could mean a much friendlier environment for crypto overall.
The winds could shift.
Totally. And there's even a quote in here, Dan Jablonski. He's like a big shot at this crypto firm called Syndica.
I know, Dan, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he actually predicts that a Trump presidency could clear the path for a Solana ETF to get approved
When does he say?
as early as 2025 or 2026.
Interesting. That would be a huge shakeup.
Huge. So now I got to ask you, if this all comes true, what does it mean for Solana? Paint me a picture.
Okay, imagine this. The U.S., the biggest financial market in the world, suddenly throws its weight behind crypto ETFs.
Okay, I'm listening.
That sends a signal, a massive signal. Global investors, they're going to flock to the U.S.
A Momo kicks in.
Big time. And the U.S. becomes like the center of the crypto universe.
Wow. Okay, so for all our listeners out there, is this the moment you've been waiting for? Is it time to buy into Solana?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It really is. But before you go, selling your house and putting it all on Solana,
Please don't do that.
there's a lot more to consider than just this ETF news.
Right.
Oh.
Solana, it's a really cool platform. Super fast transactions, low fees.
Way better than Ethereum on that front.
For sure. And that makes it great for certain things. DeFi, NFTs.
Yeah, it's got a growing ecosystem, all that.
But it's also had some steps along the way. Network outages, for example.
Right. It's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah.
So we can't just get caught up in the hype.
No hype trains today.
This ETF news, it's exciting, for sure. But it's just one piece of a much bigger story, right?
Exactly.
The SEC what they decide, that's the next chapter.
Hmm.
And even if the ETF gets approved, there's the bigger question of, the long game. Can Solana really compete with the giants of crypto?
Right. Ethereum, Bitcoin, they're not going anywhere.
And if this ETF thing does open the door for other crypto ETFs, what comes next?
What's the next Solana? What's the next big wave?
So many questions. And I think that's a good place to wrap things up. We've given you all the pieces. Now it's up to you to connect the dots, to do your own research, really dive deep into Solana, its strengths, its weaknesses.
And decide for yourself if it's the right investment for you.
Exactly. And, as always, we'll be here to break down every twist and turn as this story unfolds. So stay tuned.
It's going to be a wild ride.
See you next time.
Later.